Today in the crypto space, we see the market doing pretty good. Bitcoin right around 63,000, Ethereum right around that $2,400 mark, and some of the altcoins doing well. Sui, Near Protocol, and Uniswap, just to name a few. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project. One project, like I said, is doing really, really good, and that project is called Near Protocol. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setup fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the overall market. As we do see, the market cap is still grinding to the upside. Very, very nice. But what I like even more about it is that the volume is increasing. As we do see the market cap rise, we're seeing the volume, which means market participation is in. We're seeing a bit of capital inflow, which is nice and healthy. And as we see the crypto space pretty much following suit. Bitcoin doing great, grind to the upside. Today it did push up a little higher, hitting close enough to about 64,000. A bit of a pullback in the last little bit. Of course, rejections, peaks and valleys do happen along the way. I do expect another touch of those higher levels in the immediate short term. We'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart in a second, just to use it as a leading indicator. But I do want to focus on Near Protocol. I do want to see what's going on with Near. Near is one of those blue chips. Near is definitely one of those projects that offer a lot of stability, a lot of strength. And at the end of the day, everybody should have a little bit of Near in their portfolio. Of course, not financial advice, but it definitely is a great project. And you can see that Ethereum is not doing the greatest. Like, we want Ethereum to show a lot more strength in this. This is not really doing much. As Bitcoin is rising, we're seeing a lot of the altcoins follow Bitcoin, except Ethereum. This is one of the biggest issues that I do have with the ETH ecosystem. And ultimately, what I have an issue with is how Bitcoin dominance, is going to have a hard time falling without Ethereum showing some strength. So this is what we want to do, is we want to root for Ethereum, regardless of your stance in this crypto space. We want Ethereum to do well, or we're going to have to wait for some of these other large cap altcoins to take over Ethereum's top spot, right? Look at Solana grinding a little bit. We have XRP going sideways. What else do we have? Where's Sui? We have Cardano going sideways. So in the immediate short term, we're seeing a lot of sideways price action, but we see Near Protocol and Sui doing very, very well. Sui right now is up approximately 13%, looking for all-time highs in price discovery. Really, really bullish on that Sui front. And Near Protocol is doing great as well off a back test. And I want to talk about that back test. And the reason why I want to focus on that back test is that eventually, guys, we're going to have to get comfortable not buying bottoms and buying back tests. Because as we see bullish confirmations, as we see the market rise to the upside, guys, we're not buying bottoms anymore. All we want, if you're waiting to get an allocation, all we want is to be able to buy a dip, a back test, and especially a good one that gives us good confirmation. So Near Protocol, we'll definitely take a look. And we do see a lot of good altcoins flying today. Obviously, even BitTensor's doing okay, up 5%, got a bit of a rejection. Dog with Hat looking good, and many others. OKB going sideways, potentially looking for a move to the upside. And you can see Thorchain, Rune, another top gainer, man of the match, of course, 7.4% doing great. As we keep on going down, there are some dips, right? Popcat took a bit of a dip, but we can't knock it. It's up 40% in the last 7 days. What do you expect? Another one, Mantra, still grinding to the upside. No opportunity there. I'm hoping that I can get my bags filled at a lower level if we do get a retracement on Mantra, but so far, not looking good for me. As we keep on going down, we do see some of the exchange tokens showing strength, like Gate doing great. Guys, you know what I feel about that. When I see exchange tokens do well, it gives me that indication that, market participation is getting involved. And we can talk about this narrative a little bit more tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Feel free to join. And of course, that is a great time and place for you guys to request any projects you want me to take a look at with regards to price action charts and fundamentals. Feel free to join. That's a great time and place to make those requests. KuCoin grinding up. And as we keep on going down, we're seeing FTN doing good, CFX doing good, and a few others, Aerodrome, of course, doing good. And the market is okay. The market is doing okay. Now, of course, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So let's get right into it. I know you're here to talk about charts as well. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, is still within its big picture structure, over 200 days, maybe about 300 at this point. And what we're really looking at is what's going to happen if we continue showing some strength here, even breaking out of previous highs at about 66,177. That's really what we're waiting for. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. One of the major concerns, of course, of any of this price action is the fact that Bitcoin is making low volume moves. We have to understand that low volume moves are not very confident, right? Basically, we're not getting confidence with the fact that market participation is getting involved. But that doesn't mean that we can't get little volume spikes on lower time frames and expect, some sort of back tests and, little rallies and so on and so forth. And this is what we're basically seeing for Bitcoin. So we're going to have to zoom in here, guys. We're going to have to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to have to see what's going on here on the 4 hour. The 4 hour is doing okay as long as we stay up of some of these horizontals and we're using the previous horizontal levels, the previous horizontal support levels as support. Once again, you can see that we got 2 wicks right off of this. I'm going to extend this just a little bit more so we can make sense of it. And we have the EMAs there on the 4 hour. We have the 50 and the 20 basically acting as support. And the question is, do we flag out here and get another bounce and continue to the upside? What I do like is this little volume spike, right? Remember what I just said, volume on lower time frames can be identified even for little moves to the upside. So it's not bad. Now, if we look at the oscillators, the 4 hour is not overbought with regards to momentum. Volatility is definitely overbought in the sense that it's very likely that we start to see a bit of a move to the downside. But as long as the price action does not make a lower low, we're okay. So we could definitely hold support and not come down for a bigger move. And if that's the case, if we see the orange get fully reset, meanwhile staying above, again, 62,500, guys, that's a sign of bullishness, right? Because then when we see the volatility line, the orange line, get that bounce back to the upside, back overbought, and we maintain a upwards trending momentum to the upside and seeing the purple line continue climbing, this is the time to go long on the 4 hour. Okay, and obviously that could translate into a trade obviously on the daily, because you can see that the daily, let me just scooch this over so we can get it into field of view here. You can see that the daily is also the momentum is also trending to the upside, which is also great. And we also see the momentum also trending to the upside. My only concern at the current moment, let me just kind of remove some of this artwork so we can see this a little bit better here on the daily, is that the daily momentum is basically taking a bit of a break on basically crossing over the moving average, which means that we could get rejected, or it's just a matter of being patient here to see the momentum continue to the upside. Very similar to what happened here. We try to get above, it hesitates a little bit, and then once we get above, we get confirmation and we continue trending. So this is something that we got to be concerned with. It could be possible that we're going to have a bit of a hard time flipping over. But in the meantime, what do we say about this wick? Guys, this wick up here is not looking the greatest, right? It could be a slight blow off top on lower time frames, right? Basically marking the top of this nice pop to the upside. Is it possible that we come down to about 61,300, fall through this little volume gap, get a higher high, and after a higher high, maybe a higher low, and then continue to the upside for breaking above this high, right? So it's all about peaks and valleys and trying to time the peaks and valleys, and it's only going to happen on lower time frames because the daily is still looking good. The 4 hour is still looking okay as long as we stay above this previous support line, as I mentioned. And you can even be looking at the daily, because the daily is double topping, and you can see that the momentum is looking for a full reset to oversold state, which is below the 30% mark. If that does happen, guys, we could eventually get a nice bounce out of this level. So in my opinion, right now, Bitcoin is looking bullish, but at the same time, I'm neutral. Right? Meaning that I'm not willing to get any major positions here on Bitcoin. And even on some of the altcoins, I'm being very hesitant because I would like to make sure that I get in on good risk to reward ratio opportunities, right? So this is what we have to factor in. All right, guys, let's jump right into the NEAR protocol, the NEAR chart. And you can see that the near chart is looking actually pretty good. Let me, consolidate this a little bit. And you can see what we've been doing here is a nice channel to the downside, making lower lows and lower highs. And across the market, we're basically trying to find pivot point structures, transitionary phases from bearish to bullish. And what basically that classifies as is a change of character. What we are seeing currently is that we ultimately got a higher low very clearly, and obviously a higher high above the 200 daily EMA. Bullish, really, really bullish with regards to that type of price action. I approve. Definitely, those are things that actually get me really interested. But then even more so, guys, we got a bit of a rejection right here, fine, and we came down to backtest. Now, we have to get used to these back tests because these back tests are going to be opportunities, no doubt. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to be flying, to all-time highs price discovery, which guess what, guys? We're not that far off at $8.40. Right now we're at about $5. It's really close by. We can see this thing break out, go up for another higher high, break above this high right here and go up for another high and expand to about $6.75, which would be very confluent with the previous high and the empty space here provided to us by this volume gap. Okay, so which is super important. Speaking of volume gaps, the one that we have identified in the past is slowly getting filled up. You can see as this price action is unfolding right in this general area, this zone, the volume gap is becoming a lot tighter and a lot more, not as opportunistic in the sense that, so what if we fall right through? It's only a small little gap at this point. So as you can see, we have to make a few adjustments as the price action unfolds. We got to be dynamic, but it doesn't negate the fact that if we break above $5.70, we do have a nice empty volume gap to see the price snap to about $7, right? Even $6.50 if you want to front run a little bit just before this top. And this is where we start to notice that this starts to look like a pivot point, making lower lows and lower highs and then making higher highs and higher lows and consistently trending to the upside, essentially identifying a bull trend on the right side, right? On the left side, we had a bearish trend, we pivoted, transitionary, and then we have a bullish trend to the right side, which basically makes higher highs and higher lows. Now, if we look at the momentum oscillator and the trend oscillator, it should show us some sort of divergence right around this point. And we were making lower lows right here, and at this point we're making a double bottom, and then all of a sudden right about here we started basically shifting to the upside. On the momentum oscillator, we were making multiple drives of bullish divergence. We got one right into here, and then we got one right into here as well, suggesting that we were ready to pivot to the upside with regard to trend oscillation. Now we can also see that the overall expansions here are way more important. I can see that the purple expansion definitely is in full effect, and it's very likely that we continue to the upside with regards to an expansion to the upside on the daily, as long as we can get this EMA crossing. You can see this EMA right in this level is very indecisive at this current moment, but if we get an EMA cross and we get some green histogram bars to the upside, it's likely that we see near protocol make another higher high. And that is exactly what we need to bring in another move to the upside, because it could be a level of short squeeze. There could be a bit of FOMO making higher highs. We know that near protocol is definitely one of those bullish AI, layer ones that are focusing on AI, and it could definitely bring in some hype and interest as the price unfolds, and we definitely have to take a look at that. So on the 4 hour, again, look at the EMAs and the green histogram bars, definitely in full effect. You can see that the strength is here on the 4 hour. We're just waiting for the daily to take full effect. And again, the momentum is not overbought. Do we actually get overbought? And every time we get into the overbought state, whether it be on the 4 hour or even the daily, that's where we get the majority of the expansion, right? We get a green expansion. Now look what the green expansion is telling us. We have momentum shifting to the upside, and we have expansion definitely shifting to the upside. Now the only reservation I have is that the volatility could get oversold, like I mentioned, and then this would be the right time to go long, because we're going in the direction with the momentum. The expansion is definitely in effect, the green expansion in the background. So the 4 hour is looking really good. Do we flag out in this level, get a bit of a bull flag, and then continue? Guys, definitely bullish. We have to get used to getting in on bull flags, on flags that represent continuation patterns to the upside, because we're most likely not going to be getting entries all the way back down to the bottom in the bear market bottom range. I'm meaning these bottoms here, or these bottoms here, or even more so, guys. Just keep in mind, people have been accumulating, such as me, down at these levels where the risk to reward ratio was absolutely healthy. And on these back tests, that you should be taking full advantage. This was a great buy opportunity you know, right into this green arrow. And, you know, unfortunately, we weren't able to buy in on this back test because the wick got bought up so quick. But just this general pivot point structure, guys, this is where you should be focusing on accumulating, DCAing, of course, building that position. Guys, obviously none of this is financial advice, but we need to be prepared that some great projects are not going to be coming down to those bear market bottoms anymore, and we got to get comfortable buying those pullbacks. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.